sequence in which the candidates are going to be speaking based upon the draw that they did is first we got Councillor Revell, followed by Mr. Hart, Steve, followed by Mr. Kerr, Patrick, followed by Denise Messiter, followed by Len Salt, the incumbent mayor, and then lucky last, because of the timing, okay, Mr. James Zabritsky. Sequence 1 to 6. Okay. Mr. Revell, when you're ready.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me here today. And my first statement is I have no political party affiliation. I'm unique amongst the candidates that you're going to hear from today in that I am the one who has served this district and the communities here as a community board member and currently as a district councillor. And I'm asking today to become your mayor. I therefore stand here knowing council. I know its strengths and I know its obvious failings. I have the experience and a clear vision and a plan for how to change the council to deliver better for us all. I stand here with decades of experience in the commercial world, knowing how to get stuff done. I stand here to lead Thames-Coromandel District Council to ensure that this district maintains its premier position as the place to live and to visit in New Zealand. Our culture, our people, our history, our environment, our beaches make us unique. The context for this election is the most prolonged and deeply felt cost of living crisis in New Zealand. Many commentators are saying it is the worst for decades. The Kiwi Bank chief economist says the cost of living crisis is decimating discretionary spending. Power prices have gone up 10.4%. Insurance premiums have gone up 6%. And you and I, as ratepayers, are trying to cope with this. And sometimes we're coping painfully. We're dipping into our Kiwi savers. We're cutting our food purchases. We're cutting short holidays. We're turning down the heaters to try and cope with what's going on. But here's the kicker in all this. None of us in this room, not a single ratepayer, can avoid paying rates. None of us can lower the rates that get levied on us by council. By law, we have no choice. And Stats New Zealand has recently published information that says the biggest single contributor to inflation in New Zealand is the rate burden that are placed on residents. The Finance Minister has said very clearly to councils, focus on the basics, get rates under control. So as a council, we have a responsibility and perhaps a moral duty to help ease this rate burden. It's actually the best thing that council can do for each and every resident and ratepayer. We know that since 2022, rates in our district have gone up 36%. Yep, 2022 was the year of peak inflation. 2023 was Cyclone Gabriel. But we can all say, I think, with one voice, that 36% increase over 3 years is absolutely unsustainable. This year, the average rate increase has been 7.7%. And a group of us committed councillors worked really hard to cap the rates at that level. My commitment to you is to lead a council that will deliver a rate increase less than half of that, 3.8% at most for next year. How will I do that? We will all do it. I've been in business and I know the levers. You cut costs and you look to ways of generating different revenue streams. Council will need to do the same. And I'm confident, working with the right trusted councillors around that table, that we will reduce council overheads. Let me give you some examples. We will refocus spending on the priority of core services, roading, water, waste, but in doing that, make sure that rubbish collections happen at sensible times for our holiday communities. We will review excessive consultancy fees and use the capability we have within council.
5 minutes, Mr. Little.
We'll identify and remove ineffective council programs. It makes no sense to collect rates and then redistribute the money as if we were a grant agency. We will eliminate wasteful rework on our projects. The Whitianga RTS took 3 designs to get it right. And we'll be smarter with the financial instruments and tools that we have available to us to lower costs. We must live within our means. We must change the cost-plus mentality, which drives a mindset that costs are unavoidable and are fixed. They are not. Their costs are there to be scrutinised and to be improved upon. The next long-term plan must embed a culture of affordability and sustainability. There will be change. There has to be change. And that will be required of council. But we also will need to appreciate that when council says we cannot afford that, it's not because they're trying to duck for cover. It's not because they're trying to be obstructive. It's because we are all in pursuit of a higher goal, and that higher goal of affordable rates at a sustainable level. Local voices in community. The council's record on this, frankly, has been nothing short of disappointing over these past 3 years. Yep, there have been strong advocates around the council table to engage meaningfully with our communities. But regrettably, the drive to make it happen from the top has been lacking. This past year, I have engaged with many communities around the district, and the overwhelming messages have been twofold. 1, rates are too high. 2, council does not listen to us. I will change that. I will lead a council that will transform the way we engage and connect with iwi and with our local communities. And we'll do so with transparency and with clarity so that everyone knows what's going on. Our first step, all board chairs will have a seat around the council table. Secondly, I will personally deliver ward briefings throughout the year. I will lead a council that will not duck for cover. Transparency and honesty will not be negotiable. Leadership. The Local Government Act says there's 2 primary functions of a mayor. Number 1 is to lead the elected members and the people of the district. Number 2 is to perform the civic duties such as opening offices or symbolic leadership in times of crisis. I would say that everybody in this room would be able to do the civic responsibilities. It's not difficult to wield a pair of scissors or to turn up to the birthday party of somebody who's turning 80 or 90. That is not stretching. But providing leadership to elected members and to the council and to the people of the district is a completely separate matter. Please do not underestimate the value of hardened experience in leadership. I've been an elected member for 6 years and I know about the local government functioning. I have decades in executive leadership in teams of hundreds, always focused on delivering outcomes.
1 minute.
I encourage you to esteem highly the value of experience. Do not toss out councillors who have built relationships and have built understanding of what is necessary to make council work. Clearly my time is running out faster than I anticipated, but I invite you to my final launch activity, which is taking place this Friday, 4:30 at the Monkey House here in Whitianga. There, I will elaborate on my plan for structuring council to ensure that we are able to deliver on the things that I'm campaigning on, where I'll outline who I would like to have around my council table, what expectations I will have of elected members, and to cover in much more detail what I've covered here. And obviously to respect those who have organised today and to respect all of you who are here, I will post on my website the answers to the questions I have not covered. Thank you.
When you're ready, Mr. Hart, your time starts now.
Go. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Fleming, and to all your team, thank you very much for putting this together. And thank you all for turning up, the full house. It's great to see the community turning up to most valuable exercise, extremely valuable for the whole of the Coromandel. I am Steve Hart, controversial to some, including my kids. The way I see it, the system's broken. We need to fix it. The system is broken. We need to fix it. How are we going to fix it? Emphasis on we. How are we going to fix it? Not me, not any of the other candidates, not the councillors, not the community board members. We. Community. When I become mayor, I will introduce weekly forums all around the district, inviting everyone, including visitors and tourists, to come into weekly forums and debate what you want. Figure out what you want, discuss what you want, and I will invite all the councillors and community board members to go through severe facility training to facilitate these weekly forums. Not dictate, not tell you what you're going to get or not get, but invite you to run your community. Does that sound like democracy? That disappeared when Caesar got stabbed in the back, didn't it? We haven't had democracy since. So we need to return to that. It's pretty easy, really easy. That's the stupid thing about it, it's really easy. Now, Tony, in a letter to us all a few weeks back, invited us to answer about 12 questions. On the top of that list was, what's your vision for Coromandel? To lay down a vision, you've got to be a visionary. I haven't seen one in this country for many years. Perhaps Norman Kirk was the last one. I wouldn't say Peggy Muldoon was a visionary. But Sir Duff Meyer Robertson, those who remember the Mayor of Auckland many years ago, he was certainly a visionary. And we certainly need a new vision for Coromandel. How are we going to create a vision? What is a vision? It's foresight, looking ahead, planning ahead, strategising, creating what we want. What do we want? What do we want? And for me, I want something for my children and my children's children. And I reckon most of you would answer the same. What are we going to give our children and children's children? What are they going to inherit? The system's broken. Are we going to give them a broken system? So we've got to fix it. So I'm issuing a notice to fix to all of you, to all of us, to come together and work out how we can fix it. Yeah? It's a pretty easy system, really. once we start rolling, it'll take a few months to iron out a few structural issues, but we'll roll it, and I think it'll be quite exciting. Just imagine it. Now I'm lucky and very fortunate. So I've evolved a career pathway as an ecology architect. I've combined architecture with landscape architecture and urban design and planning, fused those disciplines through systems ecology and overlaid all of that with permaculture. I've travelled through 50 odd countries, I've worked in about 12 different countries, I've got 15 degrees. Yep, 15 degrees. So I'm an academic, but I've also worked full-time. I've studied full-time and worked full-time. I only sleep 4 hours a day, so I've got plenty of time. I'm often up at 2 o'clock in the morning. People get irritated when I ring them up early. But that's me, that's how I function, that's my DNA. Sorry? 5 minutes? So when it comes down to policy, over the last few weeks, I've written down what I see that we can work on. It's a 28-page document. It's in draft form, it's in bullet point form, so it's not detailed. I could have easily written 100 pages. If anybody wants a copy of that 28-page document, it's my manifesto for Coromandel. Email me and I'll send it to you. It's a little expensive to print off, as you can imagine. There's a smaller version, only 4 pages. There's a few copies here on the desk in front of me. Anybody wants to grab one, grab one. There's also my business card is here with my email on it, if you're so inclined. So imagine a council undergoing considerable change, because it has to change. It has to change considerably. And we've got to do better. We've got to do better for our children and our children's children. It's not nice for them to inherit what we've got. The system's broken and we've got to fix it. Imagine opening the whole fiscal management of council. Imagine creating a public audit on everything they spend. Everything. Right across the board. Totally transparent. You know, there's moves afoot at the moment of hiring international consultants to tell us what we've got to do with our coastline. How ludicrous is that? You know, I went to a movie last night called Managed Out. Has anybody seen that movie? Yep. It was created by RCR, Reality Check Radio. Many of you will know the Reality Check Radio, Rodney Hyde and his network. Quite a brilliant movie. It had its first public screening last night, so it went along. Managed Out is about climate change. Another hot potato that many of us, it's on our tongue, the media are shoving it down our throat. Now the debate about that subject needs to be opened up to dispel the lies, the distortion, and every other misconception. I'm not telling you what my point of view is. What I would like to do is open it up to debate to find out what the real answers are, what the truth is, rather than hearing one side of the story. Now that goes for lots and lots of subjects right across the board, including our fiscal management. How much have we been lied to? How much have we been deceived? How much are we not told about?
2 to go, Steve.
Sorry? 2 minutes? So as I say, I'm lucky that I'm an ecology architect. I've been a designer all my life. I've designed lots and lots of major systems, from 70-storey high-rises to kitchen alterations. I've also worked for 7 different councils in a number of different countries. Urban design planner for Hamilton City Council. City architect for Geraldton in West Australia. Urban design planner, landscape architect, and also for central government as a contract architect. So I know a little bit about the system. I know quite a lot about the cogs and the culture of local government. And those that know me will know that I stand up. And I'm not afraid of any argument, any debate, or any criticism, but I enjoy the discussion. I don't walk away from anything. I enjoy the discussion, I enjoy the debate, and I actually enjoy sitting around the table and discussing any issue on any subject. I don't know everything, but I'll draw it out of you, because we've got a huge amount of talent right across Coromandel. We've got a lot of expertise, a lot of really intelligent people, a lot of gifted people. Where are you? Are you invited to the table?
30 seconds, mate.
Ring the bell. Thanks very much, Tony and your team. We'll see you on the hustings.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kerr, your time starts now.
Thank you for inviting me here today.
Closer to the microphone.
It's nice to be back. I've come to know Mercury Bay well over the last 9 months. I appreciate the significant support my campaign continues to receive from you in Mercury Bay. Thank you. Clearly what I stand for appeals to many. In my presentation, I will cover who I am, what I stand for, how I'm going to achieve it. We simply cannot afford to continue what we are doing. In advance of today's exciting event, I was given homework. Why am I standing? What experience and value do I bring to the job? I'm originally from the mainland, Timaru, South Canterbury. Coromandel has been my home for nearly 10 years. I live in Whangamata with my partner, Saskia, who is here with me today. Thank you for your support, Saskia. I could not do this without you. I have a proven business background. I chair Enterprise Whangamata. I have experienced how the council and staff conduct business on our behalf. It must change. It cannot continue like this. I stand for accountability, back to basics, a fair deal for all ratepayers, targeted economic development. I'm standing as an independent. My vision for our district and how I will achieve it. A vibrant Coromandel, one of togetherness, acknowledging our different communities. Coromandel is rooted in our unique identity and environment. We can cherish and protect our distinctiveness while fostering controlled targeted growth. To achieve economic sustainability, we must implement business and community-friendly policies. We must focus on our building, conference and hospo sectors, creating growth, especially in the shoulder seasons. We must offer tourists more reasons to visit. My focus is on quality over quantity, not an infinite number of tourists. My vision is to protect what we have. We must play towards our strengths. We have almost half of New Zealand's population within 2.5 hours drive from our doorstep. Transparency and openness. Why is this so hard? I believe we should adopt the Chief Ombudsman's report, full stop. The ever-increasing use of workshops and network meetings is unbecoming. It must stop. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. What is core council business? What we should and should not be doing. We pay taxes to central government to receive social services. We pay rates, a land tax, to local government. For this, we expect to receive basic infrastructure services. Let's not confuse the two. Core council business, roading, infrastructure, 3 waters, rubbish, parks, sports fields, footpaths, etc. That's it. If community boards want additional services such as a local swimming pool or library, they can have it, but they will have to fund it locally. I want to be part of the solution. We must focus on cost-effective local services. Back to basics, done well. Our core services must be fit for purpose. Economics and rates policy. Would anyone here like to pay more rates? I wouldn't think so. We paid $83 million in fiscal year 22-23 when the mayor and current crop of councillors took office. That's $2,900 for each of us. We paid $109 million last year, fiscal year 24-25, an average of $3,800, an increase of $900 a year. This year, they want us to pay $117 million, fiscal year 25-26, that's a budget, and an average of $4,100. There is no limit to their appetite to tax us. Our economy is challenged. Many of us continue to face a cost of living crisis. Wait, there is more. If they have their way, rates will be $135 million forecast in 3 years' time, fiscal year 28-29, an average of $4,700 for each of us. Think about it. From 83 to 109 to 117 to 135 million. Do you want more of that? TCDC is using us like an ATM. Rates, weighting and composition. We have 3 rating categories. 1, uniform annual general charge, a fixed charge per rateable unit, applied uniformly to all ratepayers regardless of property value. By law, it's limited to 30% of all rates. We are approximately 20%. I believe it should be higher weighting. 2, targeted rates, water, waste and rubbish, and general rates, roading. Our council decided to move from land value to capital value recently. When elected, I intend to revisit that decision. From Whangapaua to Whangamata, we pay 75% of all rates. That's $88 million a year. I stand for fairer rates for all. Quality of council spending and waste. In the year to 30 June 25, we spent $80 million in OPEX, 28 plus million in wages, $5 million in interest. That's $113 million. Let's start by taking a critical look at them. By instilling urgency, focus, and applying technology, I am confident we can find 6 to 10% savings in OPEX. That's between 5 and 8 million annually. Additionally, we must realise significant staff cost savings. We do the basics well with less. We simply cannot continue doing what we are doing. We are spending money we do not have. We must tighten our belts and live within our means. Economic growth. To become economically sustainable, we need to attract business and community-friendly policies. My focus is on quality over quantity. Council's role is to set the policy, enable, and then step aside and let private enterprise take the risk and benefit them, reward them. We must, my vision is to protect what we have. We must play towards our strengths. We have almost half of New Zealand's population within 2.5 hours drive from our doorstep. Add to that international tourism equals big opportunities. Council committees. Presently we have 4. I will just establish 2 and establish 3 new ones. All chairs of all committees must be elected members. 1, Risk and Assurance Committee stays. That's required by law. CE Review stays. New committees, infrastructure, growth and development, civil defence. We need committees that are outcome focused, that deliver, not talk fests. Devolution to local communities. What does it even mean? For me, it's about more local decisions by locals for locals. I believe a refocus of local government is long overdue. A reset is required. We must refocus council. It must act within strict, defined criteria, delivering core services, back to basics. I stand for more local decisions by locals for locals. Housekeeping. Standing orders and code of conduct. I believe both of those need revision. We need fit-for-purpose council governance tools that support our representatives. Staff's role is to support our elected members. Maori Ward. We have a binding poll on whether or not to have a Maori Ward beyond 25-28 election periods. I am disappointed in how it has come to this and how our incumbent mayor and city councillors have conducted themselves. None of them campaigned on a Maori Ward in 2022. I believe in one person, one vote, and equal vote weight, a foundational democratic principle. I am not concerned whether you vote for or against the Maori Ward. You will have your reasons, all of which are very good and legitimate. I will respect and support the outcome regardless of the results. Personally, I will be voting against. We cannot afford this to become a party political football dividing our community. Who pays for what? We need a mature, grown-up conversation about hard fiscal realities. In the interest of time, 1 minute, was it? Yes. Yeah. I'll give you a couple of examples. Thames swimming pool. Who pays? Thames pays. Mercury Bay, refugee station, district pays. Not a Rolls Royce though. Wharekaro infrastructure, there's a multiple of ways in which, some of which will be district, some of it will be NZTAs. My commitment to you, back to basics, fiscal prudence, local decisions made by locals for locals, real transparency, your decision, change or more mediocrity. I ask for your support. Vote for me. Thank you.
You are up when you're ready.
Kia ora tātou. Greetings to all of you that have gathered here today to listen to ourselves, elevate ourselves as to why you need to vote for us. Some of you may be asking, who am I? Who is that woman standing up there with that scribble on her face, as Winston Peters would say? I am a proud descendant of Ngāti Huarere, of Ngāti Pukenga, of Ngāti Maru, and I am a resident of Thames. I am a proud daughter of the village of Manaia, and I am a lifetime advocate for equity, resilience, and people-powered leadership. I'm standing here to say that this is our moment to move beyond business as usual, our moment to lead with courage, with clarity, with community at the centre of everything that we do. You might say, well, what does Denise know about community at the centre of everything that we do? I lived in Whitianga a long time ago when the Polytechnic, Bay of Plenty Polytechnic was down Racecourse Road. I was the first conservation tutor here for this region. So I understand the environment and the geography and the topography really, really well. I remember rock climbing and cliff climbing around here. I've spent many years advocating for community. Some people may ask, what are your qualifications, Denise? My qualifications, first and foremost, is I am a local. I come from here, I live and breathe from here, I was taught by here. I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother of 5 mokopuna. Eldest is about 19, youngest is around about 11. They're all girls, so I just hope that when I get a little bit older, I will be well taken care of. I bring my master's degree in social practice. I bring my experience in planning. I bring my experience with central government in policy analysis and legislative analysis. I was the first Māori woman policy analyst in this country. So I bring many firsts with me, and with those many firsts, many experiences. For those of you who have been lucky enough to experience the services delivered by Te Korowai Hauora, I established Te Korowai Hauora based on the vision and the needs and the wants of the community. And it's a testament to what can happen when we put people-centred leadership at the centre of everything that we do. So when I talk about leadership, I'm not talking about the kind of leadership that hides behind closed doors. I'm talking about leadership that sits at the table with kaumātua, with the elderly, with flood-affected communities, with rangatahi navigating their identity and the opportunities that are before them, with small business owners, with frontline workers. I am a leader who listens, and I am a leader who does take action. I am here because I believe we deserve leadership that reflects all of us, not just a few of us. You see, I bring something with me. I can walk comfortably in two worlds. I can walk comfortably in the Māori world, and I can walk comfortably in the Pākehā world. And I know how to bring those two worlds together without any worry at all. The services that I've developed in this community are testament to that. So, what might I be saying about Whitianga and Mercury Bay? To the people of Whitianga and Mercury Bay, your needs are real. You know that. I know that. We all know that. Your vision is powerful, and you deserve a mayor who sees you, hears you, and works with you, not as a number on a spreadsheet, but as the lifeblood of this district. Whether we're talking about the Whitianga waterfront rejuvenation, Buffalo Beach foreshore repair, wharikaho infrastructure upgrades, or fixing the roads, pipes and services we all rely on. These just aren't projects. They're statements about what we value and how we can take care of each other. And I'll be honest, I have deep concerns about the way major infrastructure decisions have been made, especially the Thames seawall plan, which has apparently ignored vital science, seismic data and community knowledge. We cannot afford short-term fixes that create long-term harm. And to be clear, I believe in smart, future-focused infrastructure and building and it being grounded in science, in local knowledge and climate reality, not outdated assumptions or flawed models, like we have seen, once again, with the Thames seawall. We cannot afford to get these decisions wrong. As Mayor, I will push for robust, independent review and climate-resilient solutions grounded in our lived reality, not outdated assumptions. So what is my vision for the district? My vision is simple. A thriving, inclusive, resilient Thames-Coromandel where every community, urban and rural, Māori and Pākehā, youth and elders, feels heard, valued and empowered. And how is that going to happen? Community co-governance, not a very good word in this day and age. Nevertheless, it's about more than consultation. It's about engagement and connection. Smart infrastructure investment grounded in client silence, local knowledge and long-term values, not politics or patchwork fixes. Economic regeneration by ward, supporting local enterprise, tourism, arts, trade and rangatahi employment, our future, with tailored approaches for each ward. Equity-driven rating reform, transparent, compassionate and responsive. Māori and Takatahui inclusion, not tokenism, real partnership, real seats at the table. Youth representation. I will establish a youth and a Māori advisory board from day one. They are our future and our future has to be now, not tomorrow or a second thought. What about rates and fairness? Let's talk honestly. Rates are more than numbers, they reflect our values. I support a rating model that is principle-driven. Equity, fairness, transparency, and about compassion. We need a system that's real-time relevant and fit for purpose, not one size fits all. Because the reality is this, we're a district of small settlements stretched along 400 kilometres of vulnerable coastline, facing different levels of risk, infrastructure and benefit. We are not all the same, but we want the same things. Our rating system needs to reflect this. It's time to talk tough, but necessary questions and the hard questions. If I'm not receiving services or benefit from a rateable asset, should I be rated accordingly? And if so, how do we balance that with the public good?
1 minute.
That's the kind of thinking we need to test and mature together. We deserve a model that allows for fair, equitable allocation based on what we can and cannot do. So I have 1 more minute. So this is me, Denise. For those of you that don't know me, I'm open to your questions afterwards. I will bring my lived experience to bear on the hard decisions for those of us that are alive now and for those of us yet to come. Kia ora.
Kia ora. Kia ora e te whānau, nā mai haere mai, e kia ora. Mihi ana kia koto katoa, ko moehao toku maunga, ko waihao toku awa, ko hauraki te whenua, ko len salt toko ingoa. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Thank you for your patience with that. I have Maori heritage from both my mother and my father. It's something that I'm extremely proud of, and I value your patience while we go through that respectful process. For those who are more observant than others, you will have noticed that I'm slightly at a disadvantage at the moment, just in terms of mobility. This reflects some historical health issues that I've had with my spine. I've had 2 spine operations, and I'm due for another one. Once I get the next spine operation, I'll be back on my feet and as good as gold. But in the meantime, I have to use a wheelchair to get around. In theory, there's nothing wrong with this part from here upwards, but I'll leave that to you to make your own judgments. What I'm going to do is touch briefly on some of the highs and lows of my experience as mayor for the last almost 3 years. And it's fair to say that when I was elected, I came in not expecting what was about to hit me or what was about to hit our community. The first of the storms that we had to deal with as a council and as community started in around November 2022. I nearly said 1922, but November 2022, and we experienced the first of the storms that were due to test and try us as a community. Then, as you all know, I was living in Whitianga at the time. It became very clear to me very quickly that I could not do the job that needed to be done living in Whitianga, because the travelling was and the requirement to be at meetings was quite extreme. So my wife and I made the decision to move to Thames, which we did, and we moved 4 days before the State Highway 25A collapsed. We had tenants moving into the house. We deliberately wanted to make the house available for long-term tenancy because we knew at the time there was a critical housing shortage in Whitianga, but we couldn't get back to finish off what needed to be done. The next few months, as you know, were absolutely and completely focused on getting our roading network up and running again, finding out what the critical need was for our communities, for our business communities. And I spent as much time as I could out on the road talking to people in businesses, talking to people in communities, ratepayers associations, finding out where the most critical need was. And fortunately at the time we were able to access some government funding. And this came down from that point on to individual stories, and one of the most poignant ones that is an example of the reality for people on the ground, was a small business in Tairua. Tairua was probably the most badly affected in terms of distance from everyone else and from the travelling community, because they simply couldn't get through. On a Friday night, I got a phone call from a business owner. The lady was in tears and she said, look, I've got 6 staff. I've got $35 in the bank. I don't know what I'm going to do and how I'm going to get through the weekend. Is there anything you can do? Now, we had established a mayoral fund. We'd got some government money, and our new chief executive had some very, very good contacts, and we were able to tap into those contacts. We had $40,000 in the bank account of that lady by Monday morning, which made all the difference. So a lot of the time was spent processing around 500 different applications for people to get them through that tough period. Thank you. So the first half of my residency, if you like, in the job was spent dealing with that, and then working with Waka Kotahi on what we needed to do to get that road open. Long story short, you will know that we working closely with Waka Kotahi, with government, with DIA, with our own roading engineers. That road was opened 3 months ahead of schedule, and $7 million under budget, and that's something I'm very, very proud of. Thank you, and I know, having met with the people of Tairua not long after that, it was something that resonated very, very strongly with them, so thank you to all of you. There's some things that I want to be very clear about going forward, and some position statements that are important to me. I've always been very clear, for example, on Māori wards. I support the establishment of Māori ward, and I will be supporting the ongoing establishment or the ongoing continuation of Māori wards for this district. And there's a number of reasons why, but one of those reasons is that in every example that I've looked at of where Māori ward councillors are working within councils around the country, they have been an exceptional success. The Māori economy is something that is growing at an exponential rate, and it is something that we would be foolish not to be working alongside iwi to make sure that we take full advantage of the opportunities that are there. So what's the vision? What's the future? The future for me, the vision for me is very, very much tied into making the most of technology, making the most of our natural environment, our assets, and working closely with iwi to build long-term, multi-generational facilities and opportunities for all of the people in our district. So that's a big part of it for me. Community empowerment is something that comes up a lot, and it's something that, as the mayor, I get to go around all of the parts of the district, and this is something that I hear consistently. We need our voices to be heard, and we need our voices to be heard a lot stronger than they are now, because we're not feeling like we're getting a voice in council. There's quite a lot of truth to that. And what needs to happen is that there's a disconnect there between myself and others going out into our ratepayer associations, and we could have anything from 12 to 17 ratepayer associations. I intend to establish a unit within council, which is a direct connect with the ratepayer associations and with the community groups that are out there doing the work in the communities, so that when they come to council, there is a direct contact for them, so their voices are heard, understood, and we're basically tapping into that work and making sure that it aligns with our regulatory requirements, LTP, annual plan, and the things that we are required to do. There's a number of questions which were brought up And some of the questions, I won't get time to answer them, but I'll happily stick around afterwards, or we'll go through the question time. But one of the things that I want to make folks aware of is the critical importance of us as a community making the most of our contacts with central government and making sure that we as a council and as a community are working with central government to make sure that our needs are understood and clearly identified. Now, this could not be more important than in our roading network, and it was very, very clear when we did the thank you. When we did the resilience rebuild after the storms, we managed to get John Morrissey and myself from the Regional Land Transport Committee. We managed to get $800 million of commitment for funding. That was all taken away when the government came in and changed the National Land Transport Plan. One example of how we can work together to make sure that we get our needs looked after as a community. There's lots more, but I'll be around afterwards. Please come and ask me. Thank you very much.
Take as much time as you need.
Thank you. That's much appreciated.
You're welcome. Can you all hear me? Good. I don't need that.
Yep.
I don't need that.
Oh, you do actually, because people are online.
Oh, you can all hear me. My name is Sabritsky, James Sabritsky. The reason I'm getting involved is because it's a passion that I want to change things. The first is healthcare. I believe from the cradle to the grave, there can be no exception to that rule. We must cater for ourselves, look after our family, look after those around us. It's an obligation, it's a rule. We fail that, it's all over. Part of that is an initiative I'm working on. It's called Camp Coromandel. It's an assisted self-help program for addicts, recovering addicts, alcoholics, the mentally health challenged, utilising dock property. You really want me to speak into here? I apologise. Camp Coromandel, now the nerves are heading in. Camp Coromandel is an initiative dedicated towards helping people with addiction. Okay, people with addiction, they're our brothers, they're our kids, they're our cousins, they're part of the community. Their problem is it's just out of step with life. It's up to us to put them back in a step. But it shouldn't cost us out of our back pocket. They have to help themselves. So it's an assisted self-help program, utilising dockland. Okay, the biggest problem with recovering alcoholics or recovering drug addicts is they're too close to the source. So they can't take the source away from them, so we take them away from the source. You got a problem with addiction? Walk it off. With counsellors stationed at huts throughout the Coromandel and with a program where they have to walk to the certain place, spend the night there, in groups of course, not by themselves, then they can utilise time and space and nature to think, reflect. When they feel positively about getting back into the community, they walk out. Okay? Very low cost. Very important. The second thing is, what affects us isn't noticed, but some things are outside the jurisdiction of the council, such as the intersection at, how do you spell that? How do you pronounce that? Just north of Kopu, Orongo, the intersection at Hauraki Road and State Highway 26? Orongo, thanks. You know, that's a death trap. And nobody's going to fix it. Why? Because it's outside our jurisdiction. It doesn't bother them. But every time there's an accident there, we get stuck in the traffic. A trip from Auckland to Whitianga, what is it, 3 hours, 3.5 hours? Auckland to Whitianga? It can easily be 6 hours. We've got to get that fixed. That's got to be a roundabout. That's number one on my priority, okay? The second thing is the Treaty of Waitangi. I have my issues with it. Half my family are married, the other half are European. We came here in 1842, right? You give them anything more than what I'm entitled to, all of a sudden we've got a family that's in dispute with each other. So I'm not comfortable with the marriage awards just yet. I believe, one vote for all of us. That's my personal view. Council, kids and crime. The council should have the ability and the desire to start businesses under a public-private partnership. They should come into communities like this and look at all of the empty shops and then look around, find out what businesses are needed, take the opportunity to establish that business, staff it, step back, mentor it, and offer it to the community as a community business. Why? They have the mechanisms in place to hire, to train, to employ, to teach, and to mentor. The problem with the council is it's run under the Regulatory Government Act. You need a guy like me, for instance, or one of these guys here, to be able to turn around to central government and say, hang on, these guys work for us. They don't work for you, they work for us. So a 20% kickback in all statutory requirements by just simply dragging your feet, council, don't conform immediately to what the government wants. Listen to us. Give the community your dedicated support first. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm struggling at the moment because my car is 9 miles out of town with a flat tyre and I walked the last couple of miles only to get halfway here and realise I've left my notebook in the car. So all of this is coming from up here. Okay. I haven't even worked out how I'm going to get home yet. So that's just the way it is. Okay. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. Any private pilots here? Can I fly back to Thames? Okay. One of us is going to end up leading this district. One of us. These guys have got vastly more experience than I have. And I acknowledge that. But what I have, they don't have. And that's me. Okay, I'm fresh to this, but I have the determination and the attitude to go after things that you guys send me after. I have no idea at the moment how I'm going to reduce the rates. And quite frankly, the only way I see it happening is by allowing the council to grow. But they have to grow under their own steam and they have to generate their own money. How are they going to do that? Partnerships. Private-public partnerships. I don't like being told by the council what I can and can't do. I wish we had a borough council back here. At least in those days, it was local, it was community. That pause wasn't meant, I just haven't worked out what I'm going to say next. Over the page.
4 minutes to go, James.
4 minutes. Investment. I don't know if the council are wasting our rates money or not. I wouldn't believe them if they told me that they were doing the best they could. The only thing that's going to satisfy me is if we send AI in there. AI will tell me and tell us whether or not they're doing it right or whether or not they're doing it wrong. As a matter of fact, AI would probably replace half their staff. So I'm in favour of AI being introduced to council. I'm in favour of AI doing the audits. At least it'll be truthful. I'm not aligned to any political party, but of all the politicians I've ever met, there's only one that I want to walk up and shake his hand, and that's Winston Peters. I want to thank him for his service to the country. Okay? Bar none, he stands out, and I admire that. I've finished with what I have to say, simply because I can't remember. Anybody got any questions? Just remember, one of us is going to lead you guys. You're our army. The council are our servants. They work for us. They are still part of the army. They live amongst us. They're just being wrongly directed. We need to make the council focus on us, not the government. It's just a simple mindset. You agree? Yeah, it is. It's a simple mindset. They need to be shown that we are the first responsibility, and the government's requirements are the second responsibility. Okay? That's right? Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, that's why I'm here. Just vote for me, Sabritsky. Okay? Thank you.
And would you like me to pose the questions? So these are questions to the candidates that have come through from the panel, the residents and ratepayers chairs that have been sitting over to my left. The moderator has decided that we go in the same sequence as the presenters were. So to Mr. Revel, there's two questions. Question one, position on Maori wards. Question two, transparency, specifically position on the Chief Ombudsman's report.
Thanks for the questions. So the first one, my position on Maori wards, I'm on the record, and you can see that in 2023, I was the first speaker on the in the debate around whether there would be a Maori ward, and I advocated for that and encouraged my colleagues around the council table to vote for a Maori ward. The reason for that, for me, at that time was twofold. Firstly, as I mentioned before, I've had decades of experience in leadership, and I know the value of diversity around a table where we're trying to get the best outcomes. That might be gender diversity, it might be diversity in terms of capability, it might be in the IT sector that I was in, diversity in domain knowledge, be it technical or communications or whatever. So I am an advocate for diversity in order to promote excellent decision making. The second reason for me was I saw at that time that this was just an extension of what we have on a national basis. In the national environment, we have Maori electorates, and in my mind, that was just a reflection of what there was at a local government level.
Mr. Revel, if we could use 30 seconds per question, please, and answer so that we can do a sprint.
In which case, I can't answer that question in 30 seconds, and so I invite you again to come on Friday, where I'm very happy to talk to it in greater detail. It's a sort of question that you cannot be trite about, and it's the same with transparency. It's a question that it's not possible to be trite and flippant. The whole issue of transparency is critical. People need to be able to trust those who are leading. They need to be able to trust this council. And in order to do that, council has to be able to do its business and has to be able to communicate effectively. So outside of that, I will step back because I need more time to answer those. Thank you.
Thank you. Question one is, what do you see as core council services?
Say again.
What do you see as core council services? Just hang on, you're going to come up. Services, yes. And the similar question to you, position on Maori wards. Please.
Fleming, we've got 30 seconds on each.
Well, it's a metaphor, but they're not 5 minutes each.
A metaphor. That gives me half an hour. For core services, money. Of course, we can talk about all the utilities, sewage, roading, and all the rest. But at the end of the day, many of us in this hall are feeling the pinch financially. What are we going to do about it? We've got to tighten the belt. I was lucky in my career to have dived into sewage and water and explored that extensively, professionally in many different countries and right through New Zealand. We can save 17,000% in the cost of our sewage installations. If you want to know more about that, it'll take a bit longer than 30 seconds. Maori wards, I would like to repeat Fina Cooper's words. We are one people. Winston is saying the same thing. Racism is dividing this country. It's probably the worst that we've had in our entire life, the last 200 years. Racism is dividing this country. How do we fix it? How do we fix it? Many people have said to me, you should change your name to Frank Blunt. It's quite a good idea, isn't it? But, you know, Fina Cooper was a brilliant woman. Many of us are old enough to remember her. I'm in your same age bracket. I'm 72. So I remember her well. Winston's got 9 years on me. He's saying the same thing. How do we fix it?
Mr. Kerr, one, rate increase percentage, and the other one says position regarding land value to capital value, impact on eastern seaboard.
I'll cover the land value to capital value.
Microphone, please.
I beg your pardon?
Speak into the microphone, please.
I thought I was. Can you all hear me? Great. I'll cover land value to capital value. What in essence it really means is that they take the difference is land value is a fixed amount. It is all, everyone knows their land value. A capital value involves the addition of the improvements. Now, the eastern seaboard has, of course, got much greater assets in terms of improvements on their property. So if you were to take the rate increases, which I described earlier, every time there's going to be a rate increase, once you apply the rate value to capital value, I'm afraid we on the eastern seaboard are going to take the brunt of that. Just so you understand the makeup, I have got a couple of stats here. We'll just deal with Mercury Bay, but when these fellows came in, it worked out at 29, call it $30 million was what your contribution is.
Mr. Kerr, just stick to answering the two questions, please.
Right, okay. Anyway, needless to say, it's going to skyrocket. You can be rest assured. So the other question, sir, what was it?
The other question was rate increase in percentage.
I don't quite understand what they mean by that.
Have you got a policy per the panel on rate increases?
I certainly do. We will cap rates at the lower of either CPI, which currently is about 2.5%, or 3%, whichever is the lower. Full stop. Getting back to land value to capital value,
Thank you. For speaker number 4, Denise Mesiter. One, similar, it appears to be going through the panel's thinking, position on land value versus capital value rate. And 2, examples of economic benefit projects.
I don't have a preferred position around land value or capital value. I think that we have the opportunity to be flexible within the 3 rating categories that we do have. I think that first and foremost, we need to be clear and make decisions around what our principles are going to be that underline those decisions. If we look at what's happening in our environment at the moment with changes in our climate, it is going to impact on land value and it will definitely impact on capital value. All of these things are going to impact on the way in which we make decisions around rates. So I'm not going to go, yes, I'm in favour of land value when the capital value might increase. Although I'm not quite sure about that, particularly when government's going to pull out of doing buyouts. So, I think that we need to be led and governed by our principles that are about fairness and equity and take into account reality, not what used to be, but what is. Needs to be fit for purpose and relevant to what is occurring today.
And the other one was examples of economic benefit projects, if any.
Okay, I'm going to, one of the examples of economic benefit. For those of us that may be aware, Hauraki is just about at the end of its treaty settlements. And the economic benefit to this region cannot be underestimated. At this point in time, the Māori economy is worth $123 billion. It has risen by 8% in the last 3 to 4 years. If we have a look at our demographics, we will see that the Māori demographic is the younger demographic in this country, and they are going to be driving economics and the spend in which we are looking at for the future. So economic projects need to be real. They need to be focused on where we are going as a community. They have to be about service. We have an ageing population. Who is going to take care of the ageing population when the younger population is coming in behind us? So we need to consider those things. We have tourism. We've underestimated what domestic tourism can mean to this community, to our whole district and international community, given that this government today put out an edict that it is going to charge international tourists between $20 to $40 to visit Cathedral Cove. How is that benefit going to come back directly into this community? So we have a range of serious issues to consider, but more so about how do we do this to stabilise the present, to inform the future. Kia ora.
Question number 1, opportunities to take cost out of TCDC. Question number 2, rates, how do we reduce?
Question number 1, how do we take costs out of council operations? I can promise you without a shadow of a doubt that our council has done an extraordinary amount of work on this very topic. And you've got to be careful that you don't reach a point where you start stripping your financial model back so hard that you fail to deliver services and amenities. And we all like the word localism, we all like the word community voice, and I hear it all the time. And I think that we've got to be open to what our communities want and what they're prepared to pay for as well. So if our communities, for example, tell us that they want a particular amenity, whether it's libraries, whether it's pink roads in Pauanui, and they are prepared to pay for that with a targeted rate, we have a responsibility to have that conversation with them. If we have communities that want amenities specifically for them, and they're prepared to discuss with council the community contribution, we need to have that conversation. I'm sorry, what was the second part of it?
Rates, how do we reduce? That's what has come through from the panels.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the conversation that I started earlier on, and I ran out of time. We need to have a conversation about the financial model under which councils work, all councils across the country. And I'm going to give you a few examples, and these examples have been placed in front of councils again and again and again. Pay rates on government-owned land and buildings, because they don't. We're expected to provide the services to the government-owned buildings, schools, dock land, hospitals, all of that, and we have to provide the services. They don't pay rates. Give us back the GST on the rates that you pay in your rates billed, that GST goes to the government, it does not come to us. The $20 that's going to come from Cathedral Cove, and I've been lobbying long and hard, I knew this was coming. We as a council knew this was coming. We're expected to provide the toilets and the services for the people, the visitors. That's great economic benefit, but we need some contribution, thank you very much, from that $20 to make sure that our costs are covered. Otherwise, guess who pays it? Ratepayers. So, we need to be advocates for ourselves, and you guys need to be advocates when you're talking to Mr. Scott Simpson and anyone else. Hey guys, how about a fair deal here?
Thank you. Have you any idea on what council services we should cut or increase? If you answer that one first.
Well, we want to keep the place clean, so we've got to pick up the rubbish. But why do council have to drive to your place to pick it up? Now, council, kids, crime, communities. I said that before. I'd like to see council involved with kids in schools, teaching them the basics from the beginning about the value of a dollar, about taking their recycling to school, using schools as a possible collection point in communities to reduce the number of trucks on the road. The saving in diesel alone would be significant. Okay? The way we think about how we deal with it, what we expect from council, what we want from council. Right? We all have to make a commitment. We all have to change. And it doesn't mean a big change. It just means thinking differently. What would I do? I would start to encourage the kids by way of finances, by way of money, the carrot in front of the donkey, to take their rubbish to plastics. That's big. What you give your kids for Christmas this year, next year they can take to school, break it down, learn about it, understand the dangers to the environment, maybe even design laws that restrict manufacturers from using their product. Have you ever thought about scaffolding being made out of recycled plastic? We've got so far to go. We've got so many things to think about. No, I don't know how it's going to happen immediately, but I'm open to ideas.
Second question, any idea on economic initiatives?
I've said that already. We've got to allow the council to get into public-private partnerships. Councils need to keep us as a community alive. They can't sit back as we die. So we bring them in and we say we've got 4 empty shops. Council then is responsible, through its mechanisms, through its ability to employ people and train people, to identify what businesses are lacking in that community, open that shop, staff it, create it, step back, mentor it, take the profits from it. The profits goes to the ratepayers.
Thank you.
Thank you.